Hello, this is Kent Dilling with Fertilizer Dealer Supply, and I'm with Woody, the manager at the Ohio location. And what we've got is a SCS 450 console that has just been powered up. This would be like it is when you get it out of the box. And I was going to have Woody go through some of the initial programming even before you put numbers into it. So Woody, take it away.
Okay. Well, as you see right now, we have it powered up. We'll go ahead and power it down just so that you guys see the initial putting power to the unit. It's going to come up. The first thing it's going to want to do is do the cal. That's the inside numbers in the console. First topic that it's looking at is where we're located and what type of units we want to use. Currently on the screen, you see that it says US and per acre. And if you ever want to toggle through anything as we're doing a setup, we're going to use the CE button here in the corner by my thumb. As I toggle through those.
Standard Imperial, that's the SI. And then turf, that's per 1,000 square feet.
So then if we hit it one more time, we're back to the US per acre, which is what we're going to use in the farm industry for our setup. And because we want to hold that as a setting, we're going to come over and use the enter button. And that's going to toggle us to our next subject that we need to address.
So Woody, until you hit the enter, you can CE and toggle through that as much as you want.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So the next topic we're going to be looking at is how the console is receiving speed. We're going to have some type of a speed input into the system to be able to do the calibration and the calculations. This unit right now is saying SP1, which is the wheel magnets. Those are the old style magnets that we had on the rims. We used them on transmission drives. Not very common in the industry anymore, but it is there because of the way that calibration is. We have to have a different setting. Again, we go to the CE button and toggle through, and you're going to see that the next one is radar. We toggle again, we're back to wheel magnets. So we'll go back to the one more toggle to get back to the SP2, the radar. And that's going to be the most commonly used. That's a radar that's going to be taking off of ground sensing or GPS.
GPS comes in with the same frequency typically as what a radar would have.
Correct. So once we have that set up for SP2, we're going to come over here again and use the enter button to hold that as that setting. And as we do that, you'll see that it toggles us to our next subject. Next subject that you're going to see on the screen is going to be the cal for the valve type. As we go from different products and different applications, we're going to have a different valve that we need to use in those applications to get our accuracy. The first one on the screen is your standard butterfly valve that's going to be used on your sprayers, liquid 28 applicators, those type of settings. I'm going to go ahead and use the CE button. We'll toggle through all of these answers and kind of go through them. The next one that comes up is going to be a CF, which is a fast valve. That in the industry we don't run across very often, but there is a couple self-propelled sprayers that do use a CF valve. You're going to get that information off of the motor of your valve, usually on a yellow decal. As I toggle through the next, we see that it goes to a C-FC fast close valve. This valve is used quite a bit in our industry in the anhydrous world. Again, we'll toggle through. The next one's a PWM valve. PWM valve is used in dry applications some. Also used some when we are trying to regulate the hydraulic flow to a pump instead of the actual liquid flow of the spray unit. I'm going to hit the toggle one more time. It gives you a PWM close valve. That's another setting that we're going to be using.
And so Woody, whenever it says closed valve, it means that that valve is going to double not only as a control valve, but also as the on-off valve.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. So some of the old two valve systems get necked down to a single valve now because we can change the motor type in them so that we can do both. We'll use the CE button one more time to get us back to the standard. We're just going to assume for today we're doing a liquid sprayer. So again, to hold that setting, we would be the enter button, and you see that now it's the cal is flashing, which means it is ready for the actual true unit setups to be put in. one step here, if you would have turned on your, and I'm gonna turn it off, if you would have turned on your unit and it would be flashing cal or rate here, and we need to recalibrate the unit, know that this step, once you do it, you lose all settings that you've ever put in. So make sure before we get to this step, we're writing down anything we put in going forward, so that if you do this again, you have it all wrote down and not have to go back and look. But if you hold the CE button and at the same time come up and we're gonna power the unit down, we're gonna power it back up and let up, you see we're back to that screen we started with.
So if you would have made a mistake on one of those and said, oh, I put the wrong valve in, that's how you could have got, one of the ways you could have got back to do that.
That is one of the
Yeah.
ways that we can get back to it. Yep,
Yeah,
correct.
but you would lose all other calibration.
Correct. Everything you've done in that console currently would be wiped clean so that we get back to the initial setup.
So with this, we're going to go ahead and close this segment and come back. We're going to have additional segments on programming an SCS 450. Thanks.